Hello again. Okay, well, we are in full melon season. um, I think I mentioned before, I'm sure I've shown this before. This is an Anea melon, and these were seeds that I got at from Baker's Creek. And I've got 3 of them that look real good right now. There's a bunch of small ones coming on, but these guys won't get terribly big. Oh, there's 4 of them. Huh. Anyway, 4 decent sized ones. Oh, 5. My goodness. Boy, I don't know how I missed those. Anyway, these are only going to get the size of a medium cantaloupe. They don't get real big. They're described as a cross between a honeydew, and it's got the texture of a honeydew and the flavor of cantaloupe, which I'm really excited to try. I really am. It's a Russian melon. Now, I did try growing these last year, but I think I've mentioned that last year was kind of a bust in my gardens. Didn't have a lot of luck with a lot of things, just simply because we weren't here. And so it was a matter of having to drive all the way out to the farm while we were building the new house because we were staying somewhere else. So I had to either walk or drive. We were only a mile away, but it's still, when you're not right here, it's kind of a, and there was a lot going on, but without going into that. Anyway, long story short, my gardens were a bust. I had insect infestations and weeds, and it was just not the greatest gardens I've ever had. But these are supposed to turn light colored, about the color of a honeydew. They're still real green, as you can tell, so they're not ready. But I'm really excited because I did try these last year, like I said, with absolutely no luck. I don't think the vines even made it. These aren't looking real good, but I think a lot of that has to do with the moisture has just been, we haven't had any. It's been so hot here. And I also have a suspicion that I got some overspray from some herbicide, because a lot of my plants are showing damage that is consistent with that. Didn't kill them, but it certainly hurt them. Anyway, that's those. These are the okra, which are just doing phenomenal. Ooh, that's a wasp. Have a lot of those. And woohoo, check that guy out. Watermelon. We already picked a couple of them, and they were ripe, and boy, they were good. They were so good. And you can see some of the damage on these there again. Pretty sure that's overspray. And a lot of planes flying. And it happens around here. It's actually happens more frequently than I care to think about, but oh well. What are you gonna do? Anyway, I think you can kind of see there's 3 of them in a row. Boom, boom, boom. And then this guy. And I think that bigger one might be ready. But like I said, we just cut a couple of them. We had our son and his wife and the grandbabies here this weekend. So we sent a watermelon home with them. And we cut one on Friday just to have with dinner. We did some grilling and had dinner with watermelon. So those are Alibaba watermelon. Pretty cool. Really excited about melon season. Like I said, I've had so much trouble, especially with any cucurbits, melons, squash, anything like that, because of the squash bugs. Could not get rid of those guys. But anyway, tomatoes, other than cracking, I've had quite a few of them crack, and again, they look healthy enough, but not sure what's going on. I mean, the new growth looks healthy. Not sure what's going on otherwise, but these are volunteer tomatoes, and I think These are Romanesco, if I'm not mistaken. They do have tomatoes on them. These guys are just, I think it's a water thing, a moisture thing. It's just been so very dry here. And they're kind of suffering from that. Let me see if I can get you down there. See, there's some tomatoes on that guy. These may not be Romanesco. These may be a cherry tomato. I'm looking at the way they're growing. Or, a Principe, I think is how it was pronounced. It's a tomato that's used for sun-drying. So that may be what those are. Looking at them, I think yep, I think that's what those are. I don't think those are Romanesco, because the Romanesco don't put on bunches like that. Anyway, that's what's going on in this garden. We'll take you up to the fall harvest garden, I guess. Not the winter harvest garden. I'm going to start calling them the fall harvest garden and the winter harvest garden. We've got so many gardens going on here. I try and keep them season appropriate. Makes it easier to put the gardens to bed, honestly. And yeah, so that one, the one we were just in, will be the first one to be put to bed for the winter, obviously. And then the winter harvest garden won't be put to bed through the winter. I'll just let it go, and then when I rotate everything next year, that'll make a difference. But it does kind of help with what you get. And oh my, he's not with us anymore, but there's a woolly worm. Looks like a bird dropped him. Anyway, we're getting some pumpkins, which is pretty cool. Corn's doing great. Do have some soot on some of it. It's a fungus, but that happens. And like I said, I will probably just use this corn for decorative. I didn't grow enough to really use it for anything else. I'll save the seed back and replant it next year, but I didn't have enough seed to really do much else with, so that's anyway, yeah, getting some pumpkins. Check them out. Now I've got these little pumpkins. These Jack B. Littles are just they're putting on like crazy. These others I think are called jack-o'-lanterns. But anyway, that's what's going on out here. And then of course the sunflowers. Aren't they gorgeous? They're getting so big. They're just huge. I can actually see them from my kitchen window. That's kind of cool. I do enjoy that. I don't know what kind of wasp you are, but let's not mess with you. I don't know which ones I can trust. Anyway, this guy looks awful. May have to come out here and water again. Not sure what's going on with my corn stalks, just falling over. Not sure. Like I said, there's something going on out here. I want to say it's weather related, but I don't know. This is a squash, and it's really just not doing well. It does have a flower there, but yeah, it's got a couple flowers, but I'm not holding out much hope for it. It gets pretty big. The squash on it does. Wait a minute. Well, that's the squash right there. It's called a Navajo winter squash, I believe. Yep, that's the squash. Huh. Well, you learn something every day. I can't believe I missed that either. Thing's huge. That may be what's going on with my corn. Anyway, just kind of a quickie update on what's going on. There's one other thing that, now I have not been real vigilant on the weeding intentionally because I have some kind of random things over here. This is where the winter harvest garden ago, but some peppers. I believe these are Ozark Giants. Wasn't sure if these were hot or sweet peppers, but now that they're getting peppers on them, I can tell they're sweet peppers. Anyway, the weeding I haven't been doing because, like I said, it is so hot that when you weed in this kind of heat, you actually take away some shade, and the weeds kind of help keep the dew and the moisture and shade the plants. And in this kind of intense heat, they need that. And when you pull those weeds away, you're exposing them and giving them a sudden shock and drying them out. So, but here's my celery, and it'll take a while to be ready. Celery, I did have 4 or 6 in here. Only one made it. Pretty sure rabbits got to the other. And I've kind of slacked off on the berries. I've just got so many. I mean, I should probably pick some of these. They look pretty good. I've just got so many in the freezer and we've eaten so many, at a certain point you're just kind of over it. And the birds enjoy them, and if it keeps them out of my blueberries, hallelujah. Anyway, that's what's going on now. Just kind of sharing an update video on what's going on in these gardens, and hope you have a great